Welcome to Superhero's Journey, spoiler-filled breakout TV discussion of all the TV shows that we watch from the previous week. My name is Carl Freeman.
I'm Brien Shores.
All right. Please find us on Twitter at Superhero Journey. That's no E in super. Or write to us at thesuperheroesjourney@gmail.com, where heroes is plural, not possessive. Just again, as warning, spoilers for all the superhero TV shows of the week.
And you have been warned.
Yeah. All right. Where do we start?
Alphabetical. Supergirl.
That would be okay. Supergirl comes first. Okay.
Because I'm illiterate.
Maybe on this particular Earth.
Yeah.
Supergirl comes first alphabetically. So, what do we think of this episode?
Not better than the last.
Yeah, not as boring.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Very good thing. Boy, where do I begin with this episode?
Let's start with the end. They really buried the lead.
They buried the lead.
The big reveal at the end. They finally answer, "Where the fuck is Superman?"
Oh, right. Hey now.
Where the heck is Superman?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know what? It was a point in the episode, I even wrote it in my comments, in my notes.
Yeah.
About, like, where's Superman? Like, they're in his fortress of solitude, taking his crap. And where the hell is he? But it all made sense in the end.
Yeah. When
it's revealed, we're already starting at the end of the episode, but it's revealed that Superman is somehow under Mom L's control.
Yeah. She, I don't know, she has, like... I'm sure they'll reveal something much more creative than anything that I could come up with right now. But yeah, like she has Poison Ivy's lipstick from, Batman and Robin. And he's like, yeah, you look like somebody I used to make out with in the 90s. And she's like, yep, thanks Netflix. And then, and then he's under her spell, which that's really cool. I like that they kind of answered that and they gave a believable villain, someone that's like, equally powered, because even though like Mom L is super strong, she can't, she doesn't have the super speed and she can't fly and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much established that the Daxamites aren't as strong as the Kryptonians.
Yeah.
They're just not. There wouldn't be a match for them. But she knows enough about their physiology and she has technology to definitely do something like this.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that she's, she is a genius, or at least she has genius level understanding about alien technology.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So she does have that over Kara, who, while is, clearly intelligent, and very well, put together and, very capable, she still has that edge over her, so she's very much like a Lex Luthor-ish type character, where she always has the intellectual edge, so Supergirl is going to have to rely on being like clever as opposed to like a brilliant strategist.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked how there was like this full on like alien invasion going on.
Yeah.
Everybody is kind of doing their thing. All the different characters are fighting it off in some way, and everyone's freaking out. But I thought it was really funny. I wrote down that, Mom L is like broadcasting herself over, this hologram to everyone. She's like, "People of Earth, do not be afraid," while all her people are shooting them with laser beams.
She's like, "What part are we not supposed to be afraid of? The imminent death?"
Yeah, right. I don't buy it at all. Like, why?
Yeah.
It was funny. And then Alex had a really badass moment when she's talking to Supergirl and she's trying to get out of the DEO because those, the Daxamites are teleporting in.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'll meet you outside." And she jumps off the building. and as she's jumping off, she turns around and she like blasts one more guy.
Yeah.
And knowing that Supergirl is going to catch her. And she falls a pretty good way before Supergirl catches her.
Yeah, it's much better than when Trinity did it in whatever Matrix that was.
It's one of those. Look, I can't remember.
It's one of the forgettable ones.
In those movies.
Not the first one.
Only one of them's good, so.
Yeah, the third one.
Supergirl's got that beat. It has more than one good episode.
Yeah, much different conversation with the first season.
It was still, I still enjoyed that
Yeah.
season.
I just like being rough on it.
The president is an alien.
That was really unexpected in like a really great way. I also don't really know where I sit on it, like, because I really liked it for the show, but at the same time, like, that's actually a really horrible thing and incredibly dishonest, and like I'm like,
True.
like it kind of took me out of the show for a second. I'm like, she should retire, or she should resign. She should come clean and resign. Like, that's completely unacceptable, because she doesn't fit the qualification to be president, assuming they have the same qualifications on Earth, and to be a natural born citizen.
How did she get around that?
Yeah, because there's no, unless she's
Unless she's an alien who was born on the planet?
no, because she was talking about how she remembered her planet.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think she like lived there until, I mean, she was definitely old enough to be able to consciously like know what's going on. And
They did get you in the episode, though, because like Cat Grant was on the plane with the president, and then the plane gets shot down, and the plane's destroyed, and she saved Cat Grant. I'm like, wait, you didn't save the president? Where is she?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she might be dead. But I sort of believed it for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I guess she's gone, because I didn't think that
yeah,
that Linda Carter would really be in the show that much anyway.
yeah. Even though, I mean, she's not really doing a whole lot. You know, I don't think she's
So it's all
fully
fan service.
retired, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
clearly. Great fan service, though.
Mhm.
Like, I'm glad. I love when she shows up, but
Yeah, I like the alien look for her. The makeup,
Yeah.
it's different. It's fine. It
Yeah.
works. Well, Cat Grant had a really good line, and I love all these CW shows. I love to throw shade at either the Republicans or
Which-
Donald Trump in some way.
which I do have to say, making the president an alien kind of cut out that argument at the knees, even though I do love those lines. Because it's like, okay, yeah, but now you've made the actual president of the show an illegal alien.
Well, but
like, even literally.
yeah,
so.
but they're doing it in a good way. Like
They are.
like she's an immigrant, or she's a minority. Not that she's like somebody who's trying to undermine the country in any way.
Yeah, no, she's definitely
Right.
doing it for the best. And, you know, I think there was even a thing in there about trying to make sure that whatever happened with her world didn't happen with Earth. And, you know, and I appreciate that, and I did enjoy that. But
yes,
sorry.
the line that Cat Grant has is she says, she's like, oh, I could survive dinner with that lech Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I could survive anything, or something like that.
That was a line where I kind of stared at the screen for a second, like they're gonna hear something about that. Like, I hope they don't. I hope they get
They
away with
won't.
that, and they're able to do.
They've gotten away with everything so far. They made an obvious reference to
Oh yeah, Trump being evil and
Trump being the
Legends.
president in the evil alternate universe in Legends of Tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I think they can just get away with it, whatever, because
Yeah.
no one's really paying attention to CW that much.
Yeah, I don't know. I did enjoy that, and I do enjoy when they do that.
What else was fun? So it's okay. Cat Grant knew immediately that James was the Guardian.
And she still doesn't know that Kara is Supergirl.
Well, the way I looked at that is that she definitely knows that Kara's
and
Supergirl.
she's just letting Kara be led on, just
Right.
so that she can tell her in her own way.
I hope so, because that was always actually my original idea. The first time that she was onto her, but then they did that trick where Martian Manhunter came and visited her as Supergirl, and Kara was there at the same time.
Yeah.
I really believe that she's just going along with it because she likes her, and she just doesn't want to have to admit or deal with the fact that she is Supergirl. It will change their relationship.
She's definitely a surrogate daughter to Kat, so I could definitely see that, and I do hope that that is what it is, that, you know, like, that they eventually do a reveal where, you know, she's like, Kat, you've been so important to me, I have to tell you this. I'm sorry to have lied to you. She takes off the glasses, and Kat's like, why did you think that a pair of glasses would convince me? You know, and they just have, like, their great back and forth where, like, Kat's cold but still loving. And
I kind of actually hope, because, and I actually feel like this will happen in the next episode, in the finale, and I almost feel like she'll do that in some way, and then Clark Kent will be somewhere there, or
Yeah.
Superman will be there, and she's like, oh, and yeah, and he's Clark Kent. You know, like, because
See, I feel like they still can't do that with Clark, because there's the whole thing where, like, you know, Kat's in love with Clark, you know, but you know, like,
yeah, but that would further the idea, like, why she's so in love with him, because she knows he's Superman.
yeah,
And she loves that idea. I mean, it would be a disservice to the character, in my opinion, for her not to
yeah,
to figure that out, especially if
Yeah.
she can figure out, you know, James Olsen is Guardian from just
well,
his
yeah.
eyes. I mean, come on.
I mean, she knew, like, right away that Barry was the Flash, and you know, from the first season.
Okay, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, she's definitely. I do really like the Cat character. You know, it's
Yeah, I like her too. I like when her being back in this little bit. Like, it really shows you how much I miss her from the show.
And I don't watch, like, I don't watch the commercials or the trailers or previews for the next
stop doing
episodes.
that.
So
Bad
I had
idea.
no idea she was showing up. Like, I wasn't paying attention at, like, guest stars.
Yeah, me
you know, at the
neither.
bottom.
Yeah.
I was genuinely surprised when she showed up and delighted. And I think one of the things that I love about the Cat character and also Supergirl is, and this is the point where I start speaking things that I have no knowledge of, but, like, I think it's very much the difference between writing a character that is empowered and a character that's intended to be empowering, where they either intentionally or unintentionally found a way to write characters that are that they're just very strong, independent, empowering characters that should be looked up to, where it doesn't matter, like, you know, what gender is assigned to them. Like, you could kind of fit like any gender in there, and it would still be an inspiring character. And I really enjoy that about that, just because they are strong and independent.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that about, you know, Kat and Kara's characters. I think that's really fun. I think that's really great for the show.
I get the same feeling from those characters.
You know, it's something that's more the writing that I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that I hope that they're actually able to do, going back to our previous podcast with Black Lightning, that they're actually able to make him, you know, an empowering character, you know, through his characterization, and not actually try and, you know, create the air around him that, you know, it's like, because he is in this position, he is empowering. It's like, no, just have him be a smart, intelligent, strong character, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, that's what I really enjoyed about Kat. And like you said, dude, I'm right there with you. I didn't realize how much I missed your character until I would be thrilled if they replaced Jimmy with her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like, of course. I mean, if they can get rid of James or Jimmy, at some point, I would be so happy. But you know, a disclaimer to anybody watching any of these shows: please swear off watching those little teasers that show you a little preview for the next episodes. Yeah, because this has really improved my opinion of these shows. Mm-hmm. Because they ruin the surprise. You know what you're looking. It's like you're looking at the episode expecting to see something happen, or some character show up, or some whatever little twist or thing that they give you to get you excited for the next episode, and you're already gonna watch it. You don't need that.
Yeah, if you already sat through the last one and you enjoyed it, you're already gonna see the next one. There's little things. I'm not like, because I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it many times. I think that anything that's ruined by a spoiler is not worth watching, but that also doesn't discount the joy that you get from being surprised by something.
Yeah, because you can never get that back.
Yeah,
you know,
because
that's why I don't like spoilers. Like I know you don't hate spoilers.
I couldn't care less about spoilers.
Yeah, but it's something you can never. It's taking away something from you permanently, because you can never experience not knowing that again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, and I agree to a point, because we've talked many times, and, you know, in the past with Captain America: Civil War, I would have been much happier if they never announced that Tom Holland was in the movie. They never announced that Spider-Man was going to be in the movie. They completely took out the scene where you have Robert Downey Jr. going to Queens and awkwardly flirting with Aunt May, and then going through the whole thing where they show the YouTube clips, and they cut that out completely. You don't know that what's happening, until they're at the airport and he shouts out Underoos, which I still think it's weird that they had superhero themed underwear in that universe. Right. But anyway, if he shouts out Underoos and the first thing you see is the web come down and take Captain America's shield, you're gonna lose your mind.
Oh, everyone would have lost it in the theater. I mean, it would have been incredible. But
even knowing, because the reaction that everybody had when seeing that the first time, even knowing that was coming from seeing it in the trailer. Yeah. Like, that was...
But I feel like I get your point with that, but also in the way they did it in the trailer, the trailer gave everyone that same excitement that they would have got in the theater.
Yeah. But they just gave it way too early.
Because they gave that little tease, and that other scene that comes before is fine with the one with Tony Stark, is fine because you already know he's in the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, it was fine. I get what you're saying. Yeah. You could have done it a different way, but you needed to do it. I understand why they did it for marketing purposes.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also look at it as well. But I also I guess my point with that was also that I didn't lose anything from knowing that was coming. However, like, exciting and a great crowd moment that would have been for Spider-Man to show up completely out of the blue, unexpected. However great that would have been as a crowd moment, I didn't lose anything from knowing it was going to be in there. In fact, the anticipation of that showing up and seeing him, being excited to see him with all these other characters that I really like, some characters that I really love, like, it was the build up to it. But then I also look at it, and this is a really bad movie and like not a good example, but it was a great example for just being excited. Was in the movie Terminator Salvation. I was watching the movie with a buddy of mine. We were watching it. We were the only two people in the theater. We had no idea about anything that was coming in the movie. We had no spoilers, and we're watching the movie, and we're like, "Nah, it's not good. It's not good," and kind of bored. And you hit the point at the end where you have the 1984 Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator come out, and like, because me and my buddy, we're huge fans of the first two movies of the series. We lost our minds. We had no idea it was coming out. It was such a great crowd moment.
And then you tricked yourself into believing the movie was good.
Oh, no, it was not a good movie.
Okay. Good thing. Happy that didn't happen.
Yeah. But it's just two examples of, like, spoilers where, I think any movie where if you're told a spoiler, if that ruins the movie, it's a poorly written movie, regardless.
Of course, yeah.
But at the same time, like, you shouldn't, there is something to be said for not ruining a surprise.
Yeah, but getting back to the TV shows and why
the previews.
The previews and why that's a problem for spoilers. It's a much shorter form. Each episode is technically only 40-something minutes, right?
Yeah, about 42, 44 minutes long.
So giving away any significant thing in that is a much bigger impact than your movie, which is about usually often 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And if handled right, like Civil War, for example, which, they gave away that Spider-Man was in it, but it wasn't just that Spider-Man was in it. It's like he has this great, awesome action sequence. Yeah. He does so many cool things. Mm-hmm. He does the Empire Strikes Back,
that really old movie.
Yeah, that really old movie. He swings around the legs of Giant Man, who, by the way, is the other big surprise that they kept from you and saved. Which was another thing.
The exception of the Funko Pops and Legos.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But very few people are looking into that. It's like if you have another big surprise in the bag that you're not giving out, it's okay. You give somebody something like that. Like,
So, but no, I'm in complete agreement. Because I think it was before you stopped like watching those. I gave up on those. Mm-hmm. Just because I didn't need them. I already knew, like you said, I already knew I was going to be watching the show.
Yeah, like so I'm a subscriber, if you want to say. Like, I watch every episode. I'm gonna watch every episode.
Yeah, like I loved. Yeah. Skipping ahead a little, to another show. I don't want to get too far into it, but I didn't know Snart was going to be in Flash.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, hey, it's Snart. I like Snart.
I didn't know either, which is great.
And I got super jazzed for it.
Yeah.
It was
back
really
to
fun.
Supergirl. I knew Superman was going to be in it because I did read that he was coming back, but I didn't know he was going to be in this episode or the finale.
Yeah, and the context.
And how he was going to be used at all. And for him showing up at the end, I just had no idea. It wasn't in my mind. See, if I had seen that somewhere, I would have been waiting. I'm like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? But when it came to this, I got to the end, and I was like, all right, Superman's not going to be in this. He'll be the next one. And I was like, oh, damn, there he is. And like, this is really cool. So,
and I got just enough of like the like a preview of just Superman there that I'm in. Like, I can't wait for Monday to watch this.
So yeah. So you said, so we were just talking about how, you know, we're just going to watch these shows. We're already hooked. We're going to keep watching these episodes.
Yeah.
Man, I really want to drop watching Arrow. Like, I've said this to you before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want, I really don't, I might stop watching the show after the season.
I mean,
and not that the season's been bad.
I would say this is actually one of their
season.
I would say this is one of their better seasons. I would say it's like, I would put it after season 2 maybe. I would go 1, 2 are tops then.
I'd still go 1, 2, 3.
Really?
Yeah, and then 5, and then 4.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's good stuff about this season, but, you know, okay, so I finally caught up to Arrow.
Okay.
And I guess we can go...
Because I got theories.
We can go back
to
the other episode. So the second, not this week, the previous. So we're going to talk about the last 2 episodes here.
Yeah.
All right. And some good... I mean, look, I had actually some good stuff to say about this episode. You know, they finally went back to Lian Yu. And I was like, oh, this is great. Finally. We're getting back to the end, to the beginning of where all this started, and we're going to end these flashbacks things. It's been long enough. I'm tired of this.
Yep.
And they're gonna bring it full circle. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But then the end of the episode ruins it.
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren.
That's what I was trying to avoid telling you. I think I said it was a really, really, really good episode until the very end. It's kind of the opposite of the week before.
Yeah.
It was a really bad episode until that reveal with William. But, you know, there was a lot of fun stuff in that episode that I liked. I liked in the flashback where he basically talks about how, like, he got the makeup effects for the fake beard and everything from Chance. You know, and he's like, nobody's going to believe that you were shaving on the island this whole time. You know, so he gives him the fake beard so he can answer why, when he was there for, you know, a matter of weeks or a couple days, why he had that full beard when the Chinese freighter found him. That I thought was really fun. Okay,
yeah. But, I mean, I guess I even still have a lot of problems in this episode. Because...
So I think the difference between you and me is I still want to like the show.
It's not like I don't want to like the show. It's just the show doesn't give me anything to like want to love it. Like there's some good characters in it, but it just constantly beats me over the head with just ridiculous nonsense that just breaks my suspension of disbelief. You know, we had that trap where they go into that building.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't even remember why they go into that building and Adrian Chase, the bad guy, Prometheus, set up some traps in this building, I guess, randomly, where there's a opening in the floor that they drop through, and then this what was coming in cement or something like that. I'm like, what is this? An Adam West Batman trap?
Yes. I mean, there's a reason why when they were getting out and he had to like punch the wall, it said Biff and pow.
Yeah. You might as well.
I'm
like, why is this? I didn't understand. Why would you set up a weird ass trap? When did you get the time and the money and like this? Why would you do that? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
TV logic, my friend.
Yeah, and I guess this whole episode was about like finding out his father had accidentally
killed someone.
Yeah.
Which watching that video, for them reacting how they were reacting like it was murder.
Yeah.
Where it was clearly an accident. It was, if anything, manslaughter, which is a term I really hate because it's basically giving a really graphic description to accident.
To the lesser crime. Right?
Yeah. Because like manslaughter sounds so much worse than murder.
It does, yeah.
But like manslaughter really is just an accident. It's like gross negligence. And that's what this was. Yeah. And
the Martian manslaughterer.
Oh man, that would have been so. I hope he shows up in the next season.
That's the evil version.
It's the White Martian.
Yeah.
The White Martian manslaughterer.
That's the what was that? The alternate evil version where we talked about Owlman and in that other what was
for Earth 2 with the Crime Syndicate.
Yeah,
of America.
That's Crime Syndicate Martian Man. He's the Martian manslaughterer.
Dude, I'm all in for that.
Yeah.
But
So that security footage. But was I laughing because
it was like the best quality?
It was such a cheesy like push fight.
Oh yeah. It was, no, you like Dad more. No, yeah, it was definitely like two guys who have never fought in their life because they're trust fund babies. Yeah, that was goofy. It was also hands down like the best security footage ever.
Yeah, really good quality.
Yeah. It's weird that, I mean, I guess Queen Industries would set up iPhones as their security cameras to record everything in like full HD.
Also, the view of the camera. Like, what is that camera covering?
Clearly, this guy's murder. Like,
yeah, exactly. It was just a straight up view of like the end of a catwalk over a vat of chemicals. You know, it'd be great also if this guy comes back as like Clayface or something.
Yeah, or like. They just let the footage roll a little longer, and Dad Queen like walks away, and Jack Napier just shows up. He's like, "Got to be the Joker now." Dives into the vat.
So okay, I thought it was kind of weird. Okay, so Oliver, he's questioning his father for covering up an accidental death that he caused, but Oliver did that earlier in the season with that cop that Felicity was dating.
Yeah.
So like the whole premise of this episode of him being upset about this, trying to get over this idea, I'm like, you're just a big old hypocrite.
Well, I guess
all the time.
I guess it's slightly different for Oliver because he's a straight up murderer, and he's like, it's one thing for me to try and hide a death because I just kill people, a lot of people.
Yeah, right.
But my dad wasn't that, and maybe. He's just looking at it. I can explain it away as a fan of like he's trying to hold his father to higher values than he holds himself to, just because he knew he had to get he got himself to a point where he could take a life, where he still had an idealized version of his father who gave his life so that his son could live and save the city.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah,
that wasn't great.
No, not good motivation at all. All right, let's go to the next episode.
Yeah.
And I was seriously I was trying to take notes of this episode.
Yeah.
It really was.
You're like, then I started daydreaming and I got on YouTube.
I started nodding off and falling asleep and like literally like with the pen in my hand like. The pen falling out of my fingers.
Okay, there's one thing that I will bring up about the previous episode that will go into a point that I want to make about this one, because I'm hoping that I can theorize that this is accurate, because it would do something a lot better for the character, or more interesting for the character, is because I really am enjoying the story arc that Renee has, where he's trying to regain custody of his daughter.
Yeah, that's good.
I
enjoyed that part.
I really do like that about the character. It's showing a lot more depth and growth than they seem to be willing to show in his character for a while. Because Mr. Terrific, you have the whole story with him and his husband. There, where he's trying to become. Or he's trying to feel like he has purpose, but his husband's too worried, so they're getting a divorce, but he's trying to stick it out. And I think that's great for his character.
Is that even still going on?
He still talks about getting dinner with Paul, his husband.
But you never last see time he went to go get dinner,
and there was the divorce
papers.
Yeah,
he's like, here, we're getting divorced.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I think I think there was like a previous episode, he was talking about how he was going to get dinner with Paul, and
I think he's an eligible bachelor now.
Yeah.
And he's going to hook up with Renee.
I mean, possibly. He's pushing for it.
Actually, that episode also ended with, or part of that episode was Adrian Chase gets caught.
Yeah.
Like they have that fight. Their fight, and then Arrow tells him that, or Oliver tells him that your father, didn't like you, and he was gonna disown you because he knew you were crazy.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no.
And then he just kind of gave in. He's like, no.
Oh, my heart, it's been broken in two.
And Oliver's just like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to kill you. Even through your terrible acting, that you clearly want to get caught because this is your plan.
Yeah, and then he ends up in that cell and I'm like, all right.
See, I don't
Like,
think
that was anticlimactic, and clearly, obviously, not the finale and end to this, how the way this is all gonna go.
See, that's the thing. I think what Oliver should have done was not take as high of a road as he was trying to do, and don't kill him, but make him a quadriplegic, so that like he can't ever exact physical revenge. He can never physically beat Oliver, so he just has to just sit there and watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible thing for me to say. It's a terrible life to wish on someone, but it's also going to be the one that's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a seriously dangerous individual. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't just. I understand that he wants him to be arrested and brought to justice in public, but really, you should just kill him.
Yeah,
like, he's too dangerous.
Yeah, he's too dangerous. You can't trust him in a prison. Right. He's too well connected.
Yeah, and he's been playing you this whole time.
And clearly, he's loaded to be buying buildings and creating Scooby-Doo style booby traps.
Exactly.
Like,
no, Adam West Batman.
Sorry, Adam West Batman style booby traps. Let's be honest; those are essentially the same thing.
So in the next episode,
but just to really quick finish the point because it's going to come into Renee never showed up for the custody hearing,
right? Yes.
In this episode, so that follows through into the next episode. I just want to get that out there, so anyone listening to my theory, even though I have multiple theories about where this one's going, but
okay.
Look, I'm hoping the show is better than it is. All right.
Good luck on that one.
Thank you. I like your optimism, Carl.
So in this next episode, back to the flashbacks.
Yeah.
And we've got Dolph Lundgren just torturing
didn't care about
Oliver for what reason I really don't know. He's got this magic like relive your life pains torture drug.
Yeah.
And we get to see like his all these old memories of how he got his scars and stuff, and we got all his pain, shit that he's gone through, and I'm like, why? Yeah. Like, just stop.
I'll be honest, I completely checked out on the whole flashback. Yeah. I can't tell you what happened.
There's no point to it anymore.
Yeah.
Why?
I just the only flashback I care about, and I hope it's in the next episode, is him shooting off the arrow, igniting the fire so that the Chinese freighter comes. I don't need a resolution to whatever happened with Dolph Lundgren. I don't care.
Yeah, he's like, an irrelevant, pointless character.
Yeah,
who should be dead and isn't for magic reasons. Yeah. I don't know why he's not dead.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
But yeah, I don't know.
So I'm sort of not clear of everything that happened in this episode because again I was really falling asleep through half of it.
Yeah,
but my gist of this episode is that the whole thing is just filler set up for the obvious final conflict of the finale.
It was basically just to bring together a whole bunch of people. It was cool to see Malcolm Merlyn back, even though there's kind of a little bit that they needed to answer from Legends, from like where he's coming back from Legends for to this episode. I'm a fan of John Barrowman. So I was happy to see him back because I was a fan of him in Doctor Who and then Torchwood.
Okay.
But
I actually watched Torchwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weirdly enough.
I like
that. Was interesting. Did it only get one season?
No, it got like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
You might have only watched the one that was on Showtime.
Okay, that's what I watched.
Yeah.
Right. That was one.
That was like the 4th season.
Yeah, I watched that one. And I was like, this is interesting, but I don't know a lot of what's going on.
Yeah. No, that was a weird one where like nobody could die and people were just getting
it was a cool concept.
Yeah, it was really cool. The whole show is kind of weird like that, but it got better as the time went on. The first season, if you're not a fan of Doctor Who, you're probably not going to like it because it is really kind of cheap and all over the place, but it gets much better. But going back to this, it was cool to see like Malcolm Merlyn again. But again, I'm saying this as somebody who really wants to like the show.
Right. So did Chase fly everyone to Lian Yu?
I guess.
Island, I guess.
Yeah.
How long does that take?
A fairly negligible amount of time, apparently, because we've come and gone from this island a lot. It's because I think they say it's in the South China Sea, and Star City, I think, or at least in the comics, is supposed to be up by Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine it's not a quick jump.
Yeah, like this is weird. And they're setting up what they're setting up now.
But he's also, but you have to also keep in mind, he's also backed by the League of Assassins. Because Talia, she's got her own Splinter Cell of that, so she's got some funding.
So they tell us. We don't really know anything about that.
Yeah.
Is she gonna show up again? I don't know.
I have a feeling
she might.
I have a feeling she's gonna show up in this coming week's episode.
So this whole episode's setting up this. Supposedly, it's gonna be some epic showdown. We're gonna have all Arrow's, Team Arrow guys there, and we're gonna have Black Sirens now, because that's another thing. Black Sirens in this episode.
Yeah.
Laurel. Black Canary's doppelganger from the other universe.
Which I did like, with everything that was going on, where Lance was trying to help Renee get his daughter back.
Yeah.
To have that culminate where he's angry at Renee for basically bailing on the custody hearing, to all of a sudden seeing his second daughter come back, who he thought was dead, like he thought with the first one, and he's just so confused and hurt that it was the evil version.
Yeah,
he didn't want to accept that it was from another universe.
I did kind of enjoy watching him freak out about it's my daughter, it's Laurel's back.
Yeah.
It's gotta be her.
And Thea's just giving a really bad explanation of it's not her, don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. It's just not her.
He's like, don't, it's fine, parallel universe, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
In no way trying to convince him.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
She didn't even use her power once.
Yeah.
Which I guess she's not trying to let him know, but what does this matter?
Yeah.
It's like she's really trying to convince him that she's Laurel, and it's not important. But we're going to have this big conflict of Chase is going to have her, and she's going to have Evelyn, right?
Yeah.
Who, by the way, has been so absent from the show.
Yeah.
Why? Where? She was an important character early in the season.
Yeah, and then they
betrayed
just
them.
Wrote her off.
And she's just gone. And she shows up randomly for episodes where they need her to be part of the plot, and for some reason.
Yeah.
And then she's gone again. Why would you do that? Why would you get rid of a character that you've established that is clearly... We don't even know her motivation as to why she's actually with Adrian Chase. Really, it's very vague. We don't know what she's getting out of this.
Yeah,
but they built her up well enough that I cared, and they just forget it.
Yeah, I feel like what they were doing with her was very much what they did with Tara and Deathstroke and the Teen Titans, where he just found some young naive kid to manipulate onto a team and just kind of turn her to his purpose and not actually care about her while she's still invested in him. And
which is fine, but you build upon that character and that feeling. Because when the part where Chase had Oliver locked up, and he was trying to break him psychologically, and then he put her in there and told him to kill her.
Yeah.
And I believe that she was telling the truth, and she was acting like she wasn't really didn't want to be a part of this anymore. And then you find out that she wasn't. She was playing the whole time. This is great. Where's not more of this character at this point? Why is she gone?
Yeah.
She's just gone.
I don't know, but
she'll probably die. And probably every bad guy is going to die in some way. Or, I don't know. Black Siren might get sent. I don't know what they're going to do. What's the point?
Yeah. There's a lot. For however much I want to like the show, there's a lot in this that I don't really care about. Evelyn, definitely completely forgettable. There's I'll bring it up now. There was a tweet that Stephen Amell put out. I mentioned earlier before we started recording about, how there's a big surprise cameo. He's really excited that they got this person to come back. And, immediately my mind started racing, who could it be? Who's somebody I'd really want to see come back to the show? It'd be kind of cool to see Roy come back, and fight as Speedy, because, he did that once. That was kind of cool. Because I liked the character. I didn't love him, but I thought he was a good addition. Ra's al Ghul would be really cool to come back, because now you have Nyssa against Talia, and Ra's, it'd be cool to see him come back and set up rebuilding the League of Assassins. Constantine, I think, is another person that I floated could come, because he was friends with Oliver, but I don't think that would fit because they're not fighting against anyone mystical. But I think the person that it makes the most sense would come back is I forget his name, but Ragman.
Oh God, why?
Dude, he just disappeared, and they're just like, yeah, he just kind of up and left. But he would make them
fine. I didn't care.
But like, he's the character that makes the most sense to come back for this.
Yeah, sure. To help out, it would make sense for him to just to show up and help out. But like, that character was so cliched all the time with his like Jewiness, like.
Okay, Carl, really quick, can you just admit that you're Jewish?
I mean, quick. Like, I'm allowed to say it because my family's Jewish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so we don't, just for if people do start listening to this, we don't come off.
Yeah, right. I don't have a problem with like what he's saying, but it's just like. It's so patronizing for him to tell you these like random Jewish like traditions or things. Like it's so forced and irrelevant to what's going on.
Yeah. So
like it's fine if it was handled better, but it's not. So like, and his character's so undeveloped and like he's not a good actor the way I see him. I don't like the actor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm indifferent to the actor. They keep on. I think they were really trying to develop his character like very much early on. Like when you would see his loft, and you saw that he was a sculptor, but they never really developed any of that. They never expanded on it.
Yeah, and the explanation for his powers there aren't really great. I don't quite understand how this whole rag thing works, and what what it's capable of. Like it's too much for the show. It doesn't belong.
I do think it was kind of a cool effect, but I do agree.
It was a cool effect.
He didn't fit in with the show,
right?
Because the show is fairly grounded with most of what it does.
Especially when they were trying to go back to the more grounded stuff. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we have Magic Ragman. Like, no, sorry, that doesn't work with what you're doing.
Yeah, I think they were trying to be like, okay, well, we have all these other shows that are based off of metahumans. We got to at least get one guy in powers, even if they're, like, very limited.
Yeah.
She was, but I don't know. I don't hate it, but I have a feeling he's going to be the one that comes back. Even though I don't think he would necessarily fit on that team that Oliver's putting together, because if he has Nyssa, Malcolm Merlin, and Deathstroke.
That's getting to the end of this episode. We'll finish this discussion. The big reveal at the end is that Oliver goes to get Deathstroke to help him out, and Manu Bennett back as Deathstroke, which is I'm like cool, great, but. And I actually never thought he would come back.
Yeah.
I thought they weren't going to let that happen.
Yeah.
But
especially with, what's his name playing him in the movie?
Will Smith?
No.
Playing Dead... Oh, that's not Deadshot.
No,
Deathstroke.
Joe
Manganiello.
Yeah, Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, no, because I kind of thought... I mean, I feel like DC has actually reconsidered restricting the TV characters.
Yeah, which means we'll finally get Batman and Supergirl, and it'll be better than Ben Affleck, and we'll be happy.
I think it's a possibility now.
I think it's a good possibility.
But when you do that in this show though, with Deathstroke particularly, I'm just drawn immediately to the question of how is he surviving in that prison on the island in Lian Yu that no one's there? Who's feeding him? Who's taking care of him?
I don't know if he's still on that island or not.
That's where it is, right? That's what that prison is. And also Captain Boomerang's there too, right?
Yeah.
He's just dead.
Yeah.
I would give the show props if then when we see this next time,
if Digger Harkness shows up,
they pan over.
They just have like
a
corpse, a corpse just like with a boomerang.
That would be great. I would love it.
Yeah.
It would at least let me know that this show actually realizes that it's ridiculous that these guys are surviving this random.
See, Carl, here's what you're not realizing, and I think it's actually a little ridiculous that you're ignoring this completely. The Dharma Initiative is still dropping off care packages to the island, even though they've stopped their experimentation, and the others are still bringing it to the prisoners.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
I am referring
to some other TV show.
I'm referring to another TV show that was god awful, that I could not stand, that I had so many people tell me was great. And that show is called Lost.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Never watched it.
Don't
really care to.
I think that show, I'm just gonna say this and then we'll forget that I ever mentioned it. the show would have been great if they ended it in 3 seasons like they had originally planned, but they kept it going way longer, and it was just terrible.
Yeah, it was part of that whole writer's strike thing that kind of messed that up.
Yeah.
And Heroes got hurt by that too.
Yeah, I miss Heroes.
All right, so I am going to briefly talk about the S.H.I.E.L.D. season finale.
And I will take a nap.
All right, Brian's sleeping right now. Instantaneous.
Yeah.
As soon as S.H.I.E.L.D. goes up. But man, this show, okay, Ghost Rider is back, and the Ghost Rider effect is so good, man. It's so cool. Like, I can't get enough of it. Every time I see it on the show, I want more.
Can I just tell you how much I can't look forward to next season when I'm giving the recap of Arrow and you're just like, whatever.
Stop watching the show. But for good reason, okay?
Yeah, the same reason why I stopped watching S.H.I.E.L.D.
Get off of it.
Dude, you don't have to like Arrow and I don't have to like S.H.I.E.L.D. It's fine.
I understand. That's true. It is fine. But you don't even like Arrow that much.
I like it enough where I'm not going to keep watching. I'm hopeful for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And there's enough with it that I do enjoy that I'm going to keep watching it.
Yeah. So okay, S.H.I.E.L.D. Just some really cool moments.
I have really low standards.
Yeah, right. They have a fake out death for Gemma. But it's good because Ada's like, he stabs her in like the chest with some whatever thing, and she's like really digging it in there, and you're like, oh my god, like this is awful. She's definitely gonna die. Like there's no way she's gonna survive this. and then not only that, she like electrocutes her on top of that because she has lightning powers also.
And then it turns out that Gemma is also a life model decoy.
She was actually.
See, I could write the show.
But
I could easily write the show.
But it's a good guess. But when you're watching the episode,
it was a great guess because I was correct.
Exactly. But when watching the episode, you wouldn't know because it's the heroes who have actually turned it around and used the life model decoy to trick the bad guys this time.
The life model decoys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I didn't get it right away. I mean, I don't think they're gonna kill her, but it was the finale, so I thought maybe they could kill a significant character. So that was a really cool little fake out. And then, but the whole point of it was to set up a trap for Ada to think that she killed her, so that she goes to wherever Coulson is to get him, and then he is Ghost Rider. By the way, Coulson turns into Ghost Rider.
Can I just say something really quick? I haven't picked up a Mad magazine since I was like probably in single digits. But if they did a spoof of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., do you think they called him Coleslaw?
Yeah, sure.
That seems like a Mad magazine joke.
I can go with that.
Yeah.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
But seeing Coulson...
Coleslaw?
The trick...
Can you just call him Coleslaw?
Okay, Coleslaw.
Thank you.
Trick Ada in... Because they find out that like she's weak to Ghost Rider's powers because she's created by the same sort of magic, the Darkhold.
Okay.
So, because early in the other episode, she gets hit by his whip, and it leaves like a wound that doesn't heal.
Is it whip or a chain?
Sorry, his chain.
Okay.
And it leaves a wound that doesn't heal, and she's freaking out, like, why isn't it healing? So you know that's she's weak to that. So she goes to go after Coulson, and she's going to try and kill him.
Quick.
Coleslaw.
Does Coleslaw? Okay, so Nick Cage had the motorcycle. This dude, because again, I watched the first couple episodes of the season. He had like the muscle car.
Yeah.
Please tell me Coulson's vehicle is Lola.
That would have been awesome. But he wasn't Ghost Rider long enough.
Come on.
So he's just temporarily given that, and it
would have been a flying Hellfire car.
It would have been cool.
God damn it.
But it was such a cool like surprise. You didn't expect it. Like, oh, damn. So he takes her out basically as Ghost Rider.
So how do you even know it's Coulson? Like if he just looks like a flaming skull?
Because he starts off as Coulson, and then his head burns and flames and becomes the Ghost Rider.
And then he gets over it, kind of like the chicken pox.
Well,
gets out of his system early.
Well, because you can turn back, of course. Ghost Rider can go back to human form.
Yeah, but then he's kind of like permanently Ghost Rider until like the devil gives up his soul.
Well, so they do address that briefly
because
Ghost Rider made a deal
because he went to Tahiti and he was brought back from the dead and he has no soul for the devil to keep. I get it, clever.
That would make sense. But no, they made a deal.
So what you're saying is I would write the show better.
Because the Ghost Rider wants to take out Ada because she used that magic from the Darkhold, and the Ghost Rider wants that back and wants to destroy her. So he made some sort of deal with the Spirit of Vengeance to take his body over temporarily so that he can help it achieve its goal of destroying her. And they even say they do allude to some secret reason that he was able to make this deal. So I hope that's something we'll learn in the future, what that was.
I mean, Tahiti was a magical place.
Absolutely, Tahiti was a magical place. I like that they kept doing that.
I watched
for a while.
that show.
It was good. It was good to see you liked it.
I remember the show.
Yeah.
I never said I didn't like the first season.
And then when Ghost Rider leaves,
I especially love when he's like, "How was Tahiti?" It sucked.
So back to Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider. When he ends up taking he gets the Darkhold back, and he takes it back. He has to bring that back to whatever dimension he's from.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes. They think they need to make the portal for him. And he's like, "Nah, learn some new tricks." And he uses the whip, and it's this cool effect. And he makes a portal to go back to whatever dimension.
Was it the same effect from Doctor Strange?
Yes, and it is.
That actually is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
I was so happy. I was like, it's the same portal looking effect.
The
sling ring thing
I'll
from Doctor Strange.
See, I'm man enough to admit that even though I don't like something, I can give it credit where credit's due, and that is cool. I'll give it that I like that for the continuity. And
then the final little twist thing at the end is that
they were dead the whole time.
Yes, they were still in the framework.
Yeah.
No. They're celebrating. They're just at a bar, and they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna relax and actually have some downtime for once." And these men in black suits come, and they think, "Oh, it's just the government, whoever's coming to have them answer for everything that they've done." And then they do this weird. It seemed like the Iron Man 1 kind of freeze them thing. Yeah. They had this little device, and they were all kind of frozen for a minute, they couldn't move. And you're like, what's going on? And the next scene, it's it comes back from the credit thing, and they do that little teaser at the end, the little stinger at the end. Mm-hmm. And Coulson's waking up in some bed, and he gets up and he looks out, and he's in space. He's in some, I don't know where he is, but he's in some space station or spaceship or something. And
rockets next to him.
And I was like, whoa, where's this going right now? I have no idea. I'm excited. I want to know why he's in a spaceship in outer space for some reason.
See, but it's not. Because it's going to be the same thing as the end of Captain America, where it's just screens outside the windows, and then he's going to be running through New York City.
No.
Because it just repeats itself.
I was looking online they were saying, I don't know if this is where it's going to go, but they're thinking that maybe it's Sword.
Okay, that would be rad.
It would be cool. Yeah, it's a good concept.
I mean, and I'll say, full disclaimer, I'm going to watch the first 2 episodes of the next season of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mm-hmm. I always do. The season before this one, I dropped off halfway through. The first 2 seasons, I watched all the way through. I want to like the show. I genuinely want to like the show. I'll watch the first couple episodes of the season. I don't have high hopes, but that's worked out for me in the past. So
Sword, I guess, not everybody might not know, but Sword is the organization in Marvel Universe, similar to S.H.I.E.L.D. They're sort of the arm that deals with interplanetary threats, things coming from outer space, and they have this space station of some sort. Yeah. So maybe
I'm not too familiar with
I don't know too much, but maybe that's what it is. These agents or people who work for Sword are like, hey, you guys have dealt with a lot of this stuff. We want to have you help out with this, get you involved in that. It'd be cool, a different direction to take the show, have them deal with some outside planet, space threats.
And they do actually. It does offer up an opportunity for them to address that. Coulson was brought back to life with Kree biology.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they could do some really interesting stuff with that. So I mean, that could be enough to get me to watch the show again. That could be cool. I said,
so.
I'll give it a shot. I gave this season a shot. This season didn't do anything for me.
Hopefully you'll go back and if you like this next season, you'll go back and want to watch the rest of it.
Nah, probably not. I have a feeling that this season could be completely forgettable for the next season if they do the sword stuff.
You're wrong. It's a great season,
Yeah.
best ever. Let's move on.
Debatable.
Naysayer over here. Let's move on to the Flash because we both enjoy the Flash.
Proving that I could write the show.
No, you cannot write the show.
You don't know that.
You are not Jed Whedon. Okay,
Something I take pride
he
in.
is far better at what he does than you.
He writes video game music much better than I do. I'll give him that.
Okay, good, better. We agree. Flash. Okay.
Writing on the other. No. Okay. Yes. Flash, a show that we both genuinely enjoy.
Do we though? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Like, I changed my mind.
Flash, I do have ups and downs with Flash. Like, I really
Yeah.
like Flash a lot, but there are a lot of things in the show that, like, just weigh on me, that kind of drive me to a lot of soap opera-y moments.
Mhm.
We had some of that in this episode.
Yeah, it was kind of expected in this episode, though. There was some stuff where it seemed a little forced that I could have done without, that it didn't make any sense for why they were doing what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to watch the finale. Because it's what I do. Let's start with the end. Iris died. We knew Iris was going to die. But I also kind of have a feeling that they're going to bring her back somehow. Or they're going to try.
And that,
I kind of don't want them to, even though I really like Candace Patton. I enjoy her character. But I'm interested to see...
I don't enjoy her character. And I'd be very much okay with her dying.
Well, because I think that could be the solution to ending Savitar, is by Barry just not trying to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
By just letting Iris die and not trying to stop him.
How does that wouldn't prevent it at all.
Because then he's not creating a time remnant for him to save himself. See, if I were...
He's still going to do that later.
Well,
he's going to create the time remnant to defeat Savitar.
Well, what I think the smart move would be for Barry to do, don't create time remnants, go to all the other parallel universes. I know they're not going to do this for, like, budgetary reasons, but you get him, you got Wally, find a way to get Jay out, or even better, you can't get Jay out. They've already shown the 90s version of Barry Allen that was played by John Wesley Shipp. Get him. Get the speedster that you have from the other Earth with Gypsy. Get all of them to battle Savitar. Don't use, like, time remnants, to doubles. Use other speedsters as doubles.
Yeah, especially considering that Savitar is just Barry Allen, so he's just another speedster.
And that's
has
the best way to do
it. Okay, but that's not going to be enough to fight against 3, 4, 5 speeds, however many you can get.
See, I think the best way to stop Savitar in this is Barry goes and gets all of those speedsters or even better, Barry sends Wally to get all the speedsters from all the other worlds, right? You got Jesse Quick and all of them. They come back to Earth 1. Then you use the mind wipe from the previous episode. So Savitar completely forgets who he is. He has no idea what he's doing. Then you have all of the speedsters take him out and then give Barry his memory back.
I mean, that'd be too easy.
Yeah.
It would be a smarter solution to the situation.
But
the show never does that. It doesn't care about doing what's smart or what makes sense.
I actually, with this episode, for however much I love the show, I realized there was something bothering me about Savitar all along, since they gave the reveal that it was Barry. Or not that it was Barry, but since he killed Iris. And in this episode, it finally dawned on me that I didn't like, or what it was that I didn't like about it. They're giving him essentially the exact same story that they gave the Reverse Flash. Kills a woman he loves. It's somebody that's created by actions by Barry. And he goes back in time, creates this whole history about, about relating to Barry. They're essentially reusing the Reverse Flash story, just embellishing it a little. And I think that's what was really kind of bothering me.
Yeah, but it's not the thing. The things that...
But I'm also not going to bash the show because I really do I really do enjoy it, and I kind of want to just get through the Savitar thing and get on to the next season, because I think the next season hopefully is going to be really good.
Who knows? I have no idea where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But so there's a theory that people are putting out there now that they think that. So they reintroduced the holographic technology.
Yeah.
Right. Barry used it.
Yeah, the stuff that HR was using.
Yeah. So he's trying to get into Argus to get that power supply they needed.
Which they had to seen that there was something in that really bothered me.
Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
And he uses it there, and so people are thinking that HR was going to use this to switch himself with Iris, and he sacrifices himself. So Savitar doesn't kill Iris; he actually kills HR.
Yeah.
To which I say, that's totally nonsense, because...
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for HR's character to do that.
Well, no, I actually believe that he might do that, because at that point he seems like he's useless and he feels like it's his fault.
Yeah.
And he wants to do something to make up for it. He wants to sacrifice, maybe, and the way he makes that comment to Cisco,
yeah,
when he's, like, their last conversation, he's sort of saying, almost like he was saying, like, a goodbye in some way. So I could buy that, but... I don't buy that he could pull it off, because Savitar is a speedster, and when he would not be distracted long enough for him to have made this switch in the scenario that they're given to you.
Yeah. And
if that's something that any of them were ever thinking about, then wouldn't it have been easier to say, I don't know, switch Iris with Kid Flash, and then Kid Flash could just...
Or Jesse.
Or anybody who has any of the speedsters, except for Barry, because he would know.
Or just
Savitar would know what was happening because he is Barry.
Yeah.
That then he could either take the stab and regenerate, because they can regenerate, or take it, slightly move out of the way because he has super speed and not expect, or phase, or any of these situations where he could get the jump on Savitar, and then they could just take him out easily. Flash would be there ready to jump on him after that, and Jesse Quick and Kid Flash, and you'd only need maybe those three. And any other Cisco there to help, and it's like it's a so much better idea if you're gonna use the holographic thing. Don't do that at all, please don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna do that, and obviously, given what's going on the show, they couldn't get her. But if you're gonna do that, go all out and just jump over to Earth 38 and be like, "Hey, Kara, I need you to do me a solid."
Well, yeah, I mean, that's another thing, because they already established it's easy to go to...
It's completely trivial for her to, jump back and forth between
Supergirl
worlds.
could have made this go away easily, but, that's obviously not something they're really going to do in this show.
No, but there's a lot of issues with
my explanation is using everything that's kind of makes sense in the world and characters they've already used and would commonly use. So, they're not going to do that.
Yeah,
they're just not. It's going to be ridiculous, and HR might die. He take his place. I don't know. It could happen. That could be that actually theory could be true, and I just called bullshit on it already.
Yeah, it could be true, and it would follow through with the show where you would get, like, every season of the show you would get a different Harrison Wells.
Right, exactly.
Which
That's
could be fun.
Part of the theory, yeah.
I really was happy to see Harry back, because Harry is my favorite Harrison Wells.
Yeah, and we might get him back too. He could come back, because what does he need to be on Earth 2 for at this point?
I mean, running his multinational corporation.
Yeah, he can jump back and forth. He don't need to be there.
Well, apparently it's no problem to jump back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, just pick a predecessor.
Yeah.
Take the place.
Yeah.
So, major part of this episode was Barry going to get Captain Cold, not Smart, and he needed his help because they needed to break into Argus to steal this magic, powered source, which was from the
aliens from the crossover.
Yeah, the Dominators.
The Dominators,
right? Yeah. And it was kind of neat to see them team up. Like, I like that.
Yeah, especially because it was, like, Good Snart,
yeah,
who still has his kind of, like, weird resentment, but, like, admiration for Barry. So it was great to see the two of them again. I really like Snart's character. I loved seeing him show up.
The whole scenario that they create for this, this little caper that they need to solve is so. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous in a lot of ways.
I
Like,
don't.
I
didn't buy that they put King Shark as the guard dog for this
yeah.
thing.
I mean, it starts even more that there's a metahuman power dampener. So like Barry can't just speed in there and steal it, and I'm like,
So I have a crazy idea. Why didn't Barry steal that and just put that where Savitar is, so Savitar can't use his speed, and then Joe shoots him in the face?
couldn't you have just asked? Yeah, please, can you just set up this metahuman power dampener in the location that we know Savitar is going to be in to kill Iris?
Mm-hmm.
Another way to solve the situation.
Yeah.
But it's like when you introduce something like that you've never established, it makes me just question it immediately. I'm like, how does it work?
Yeah.
What does it do? Does it somehow block Barry's connection to the Speed Force? Because not every metahuman's powers are the same. I don't see how you can create some overall generic device that would stop all of their powers. Like, I don't want to have to think about this, but you put it in there and you're making me think about it.
Also, why haven't they weaponized this?
Yeah, right.
Like, so why isn't the GCPD using this whenever there's a metahuman attack?
It's never existed ever in the show yet.
Yeah.
And I guarantee it will never exist again.
But it seems like it's one of those things where they could literally just like put it on a frame and just like throw it out somewhere and just have the metahuman go inside it, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, you're trapped. Here, have handcuffs that we also know dampen metahuman abilities.
Right. And then, okay, but then is King Shark a metahuman?
Yeah, I think so. I thought so.
I suppose so, right?
Yeah, no, he is, because they gave him the whole backstory and how he was like the marine biologist studying sharks, and then he got.
So then he's not affected by this?
Look, okay, they weren't asking us to think; they were asking us to enjoy for 44 minutes, Carl.
I tried. I really tried. And then, so then there's that lock, right? That they need to break in.
For the record, we really do like this show.
Yeah,
regardless of how it sounds.
I do, and I don't at times.
This is, okay, it's
one
like...
of those episodes.
It's like how you
patience.
don't have to like your sister to love your sister.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they need to break into that room where King Shark is, and there's a lock. Yeah. And they give you this whole, like, Cisco's like, oh my god, it's this super expensive, like, he even quotes some figure, like, it's like $10 million or something for this one lock, and
Snart beats it, and, like, he's like, 20 seconds, I'm losing my touch.
Yeah, like, in the middle of him trying to explain how this crazy lock is, Snart's already done breaking into him. Like, what are you talking about? This guy, like...
That's why he got Snart.
He didn't even create his own cold gun. Like, maybe I would have believed it if they established him as a genius who could invent stuff and deal with technology, but he's not that character.
Yeah, but he's a master thief, so...
Oh, so that means he's a master, like, electrical engineer...
He understands how these systems work. He's studied all. He's very meticulous, and he's studied all of this. And don't forget, he has all this future tech that he's had access to.
Show me that. Give him a freaking sonic screwdriver. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, give him that. Make a joke. Like, oh, I got this thing from the future.
Yeah,
like, I don't
truthfully,
care.
I would have been a lot happier if he just froze it with the cold gun and punched it and had the door unlock.
Yeah, because
at least that would have been...
we've seen that dumb trope a million times.
Yeah, but it would have been fun.
Yeah, right. But then it's even funnier because Cisco's like freaking out. He's like, oh, I can't get into it. Blah blah blah. And then later they escape, but then the door is closed, and they need to get. Is that how it is? They need to get Snart out.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's left in there with King Shark, and then you have the Jaws moment with the fin going through the
the fog. But then it's like half open or something, and he's like, Cisco, I need you to do something. He's like, all right, I'll figure it out. This is so difficult. Oh, I hacked it. Yeah. And I opened it. I'm like, what? You just established that you didn't know what to do at all and how difficult it was. And now two guys broke through this crazy lock in an incredible record time.
Yeah, especially... And what made it even more like unbelievable is the fact that now the lock is completely broken, so there's no way that it's going to electrically work because of how Snart has it, and yet Cisco is able to hack into it in under a minute. See, what I would have really preferred, and again, I'm looking at this as a joint universe, not just a one-off show, I would have much preferred it be a frantic call from Cisco to Felicity saying like, "Hey, look, I know you have your own stuff going on. Barry's about to die," and then she like hacks in, you know. And I would have bought that.
And they even he had the text message from Felicity,
Yeah,
showing that like he was asking her for help and how to deal with the I guess how to try to stop Savitar, and she's like, "Oh, I don't have anything, I don't have any ideas." So I was like, yeah, he was reaching out to her.
Yeah,
so that's something they could have done.
yeah.
And the King Shark like has his hand underneath the door, and they shut the door on his hand, and
regenerates,
and it cuts off his hand, and yeah, it was. I was happy they regenerated because I was like, oh, don't cut off King Shark's hand. That's mean. Like, poor guy, he's like stuck in this damn prison. He's got to guard some crap that he doesn't care about. You're cutting off his hand. But it was like, is the door really powerful enough to cut off this giant?
Yeah, because shark's skin is pretty. Hand? It's supposed to be pretty tough.
Yeah, but I was like, I didn't.
It's supposed to go through because it's got to go through that. It's got to go through muscle and tissue and ligament and bone.
Yeah, that was a little nitpick of mine. It's not that big of a deal, but it's totally unnecessary to do.
Again, love the show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you though. That was kind of wonky. I didn't really buy that.
Yeah.
And I would have liked it if the regeneration was a little slower.
It was super quick, so like, it makes me think like, this guy's kind of unstoppable.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, you know what? It's a fun show. That's all I want from it. I want it to be fun, comic booky.
It's at its best when actually it's just having fun, and it's not being
those are the best episodes.
And it's not trying to make some overly dramatic story, which it often tries to do.
No, when the show is just being quirky and fun, that's what I enjoyed the most. One of my favorite scenes through the whole thing, it's such a throwaway scene, but it was from the first season where Joe was talking to Barry about, you know, how he's hiding like his identity from Iris when they're doing the interviews for her blog, and Barry just, you know, he's like, I can do this thing with my voice, and he just vibrates his voice while he's talking. Just the kick that Joe got out of it, where he's just like laughing, where you finally see like he understands the peril, but he's just really enjoying, you know, the fact that this is happening. That's just stuff that sticks with me. That just makes it a really fun show.
Yeah, the musical crossover was so great. So good. I loved it so much. One of the best probably the best crossover they've done for any of these shows. Yeah, no, clearly. Yeah, although that first Flash Hour crossover was actually really good.
Yeah,
first two-parter.
I really enjoyed the first Flash Supergirl episode.
Oh, that was a lot of fun too. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. That was exactly what it should have been.
Yeah.
I just wish that in both shows they acknowledged it beyond that. I still can't wrap my mind around why in the next episode of The Flash, when Barry comes back from there, you know, and Cisco's like, where were you? And he's like, remind me to tell you about this blonde. Like, because it would have been like a superpower, like a cute superpower girl is right up Cisco's alley. I can't imagine why Barry wouldn't be about to go brag about that. You think he would be like, yeah, I was just on a parallel Earth. You think that'd be something that's noteworthy, even everything that was going on, you know, with Zoom.
They definitely should have. I give them the pass only because that was the first time they were doing it, and it's like they had to figure out a way to fit it in. They just didn't know.
But they also did it like 3 episodes really later, weird. And they said he was only gone for a few seconds.
Right. Yeah, they had to. It wasn't intended for the shows to cross over, so they were just figuring it out at that time.
Yeah.
So.
Again, love this show.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to the finale.
I can't wait for the crossover next year, but the finale is going to be great. I'm super excited for it. Yeah, I'm expecting some sort of weird cliffhanger-y thing maybe at the end in some way, some surprise. We need some surprise because this season has been kind of business as usual. Yeah, for the most part. I wouldn't say predictable, but like the surprise wasn't that interesting. So I'm hoping we get something that's interesting at the end of this season. I still don't like that Savitar is Barry. No, even a time remnant. It's. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna do something cool with it, and I can't remember if I said it last episode or not, but I would like it if like they don't stop Savitar. That's like a darkness that's always looming over Barry, where he's like, this is something I could become. Like, maybe don't do the time remnant thing, but always have it over him where he's like, this is what I know what happens to me when I let go, like when I let the darkness in. That could be something that's like a great like through like plot throughout the whole show. That I could be into, but
yeah, well, we'll see where it goes. All right, so next week we got finales for Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow, and hopefully we're excited.
Yeah, and regardless, I think we're gonna. I mean, regardless, we're gonna have a lot to talk about it and a lot to be excited for. Even if we're not thrilled about the episodes, for what we're gonna see in the next season, whether you continue with Arrow or not.
Yeah. So I mean, I probably will. It's the
You've been saying it for a year.
I know. Yeah, I almost dropped it this season, so we'll see. I might have to take take one for the team and just do it for the show. So our show.
Yeah.
So I hope all of you listeners have enjoyed our very lengthy talk this time about the TV shows, and please write to us on Twitter at Superhero Journey, no E in super, or at the Superheroes Journey at gmail.com, where heroes is plural, not possessive. This has been the breakout TV discussion for the Superheroes Journey podcast. Thank you for listening.
Thanks.